Welcome learner to our summaries program. Diplomacy is a book written by Henry Kissinger and published in 1994. It is a historical analysis of the practice of diplomacy and international relations from the 17th century to the late 20th century. Here is a detailed summary of the book. Introduction. The book begins with an introduction in which Kissinger explains his belief that the practice of diplomacy is essential for maintaining a stable world order. He also argues that diplomacy is a complex and nuanced art that requires both strategic thinking and moral considerations. Part 1. The New World Order. Chapter 1. Europe, the Diplomatic Battlefield. In this chapter, Kissinger examines the development of the European state system in the 17th and 18th centuries and the evolution of European diplomacy. He also discusses the impact of the French Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars on the European balance of power. Chapter 2, The Balance of Power. This chapter focuses on the development of the balance of power system in the 19th century and the role of diplomacy in maintaining it. Kissinger also examines the Congress of Vienna and its impact on European stability. Chapter 3, The New World Order. Kissinger analyzes the impact of World War I on the international order and the failure of the Versailles Treaty to establish a stable peace. He also discusses the rise of the United States as a global power and the emergence of the Soviet Union as a challenger to the Western world. Part 2, Diplomacy in the Age of Ideology. Chapter 4, The Cold War. In this chapter, Kissinger explores the dynamics of the Cold War and the role of diplomacy in managing the competition between the United States and the Soviet Union. He also discusses the importance of strategic thinking and the use of diplomatic tools such as arms control negotiations. Chapter 5, Détente and its Demise. Kissinger examines the concept of détente and the efforts of the United States and the Soviet Union to reduce tensions in the 1970s. He also discusses the factors that led to the breakdown of détente and the renewed tensions of the 1980s. Chapter 6, The Third World. Kissinger discusses the challenges of diplomacy in the Third World, including the impact of decolonization and the rise of nationalist movements. He also examines the role of non-alignment and the importance of regional balance of power. Part 3, Diplomacy in the New Era. Chapter 7, The New Europe. This chapter focuses on the changes in European politics and diplomacy after the fall of the Soviet Union. Kissinger examines the challenges of European integration and the emergence of new powers such as Germany and Russia. Chapter 8, The New Asia. Kissinger analyzes the changing dynamics of power in Asia and the rise of China as a global power. He also discusses the importance of managing tensions between China, Japan, and the United States. Chapter 9, The New Middle East. In this chapter, Kissinger discusses the complexities of diplomacy in the Middle East, including the impact of religion, nationalism, and regional rivalries. He also examines the challenges of managing the Arab-Israeli conflict and the role of oil in international relations. Conclusion. The book concludes with a reflection on the role of diplomacy in the modern world and the challenges that lie ahead. Kissinger emphasizes the importance of strategic thinking and moral considerations in diplomacy, and argues that the practice of diplomacy will continue to be essential for maintaining a stable international order. Thanks for watching.